Hi, I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Gus, and today we're going to cook Brazilian food. So we have chicken wrapped in bacon, rice with carrots, and a dessert called Brigadeiro, which was very common in Brazil.
The ingredients we'll be using today is 4 strips of bacon, 2 large chicken breasts, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a half a cup of shredded carrots, 2 cloves of garlic, a medium-sized onion, salt, just a pinch, a cup of rice, a tablespoon of butter, 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, 3 tablespoons of unsweetened chocolate, and all the sprinkles you can possibly want. First, you take a tablespoon of butter and add it to your pan. Next, you take your 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk and add the whole thing in. And you're going to want your setting to be at medium heat. And finally, you take your 3 tablespoons of unsweetened chocolate and add it to the mixture as well. And stir continuously for 8 to 10 minutes. The next step in making Brigadeiro is pouring the chocolate after it's completely stirred into a separate bowl, taking it off the heat. After you pour it into the bowl, put it in the fridge to let chill and set for about 15 to 20 minutes. The first thing you're going to want to do while making Brazilian rice is to take a clove of garlic and put it on your cutting board. You're going to need to mince it, so first, to get the outside of the garlic off, you put your blade flat against the garlic and you pound down with your palm of your hand. And that makes peeling the garlic much simpler, and it just falls right off. Then from there, you're going to want to take this and chop the end off where the nub of the garlic is. Then just rock your knife back and forth as many times as possible to make it as fine as you possibly can. That way you get the flavor in the rice and no one gets a huge mouthful of garlic. The next step on making the rice is taking a medium-sized onion and peeling it off and cutting it at the ends. Then you're going to slice the onion in half and place it flat on the board. Take your onion and put the center of your hand flat on it and hold it firmly. Then you're going to take your knife and do thin slices almost all the way through the onion, but not quite. Just probably about 1/4 of an inch left. Next, you're going to take it and slice it long ways. And once again, almost all the way through the onion in the back, but about 1/4 of an inch still. And then you're going to take a grasp with your hands and just chop straight down so you can get a nice minced onion. And do the same for the other half. So the first step in making your rice is taking your cup of rice and toasting it with your olive oil, your onion, and your 2 cloves of garlic. So you're going to need to set your burner for medium heat and pour your 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Then you're going to take your cup of rice and pour it in just so you can get it nice and toasted and mixed with the olive oil. Next, you're going to take your onion and pour it in as well so the onion can get caramelized, and your garlic, 2 cloves, just to add the flavor. And then just stir it all together and keep checking, and this process lasts about 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up and your rice is starting to look transparent, you add a cup of water to your rice along with your carrots, half a cup, shredded, and just a pinch of salt, about half a teaspoon. And then you mix it all in and blend it and cover and let simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes.
So now we're going to start cooking the chicken wrapped in bacon, and that's a really traditional dish you have in Brazil. So to start, you just get a chicken breast, put it on the cutting board, then you're going to need a sharp knife. You make sure you remove this piece of fat off before you start cutting. And then what you're going to do, you're just going to slice this chicken breast in fourths. Try to make them average in the same size. Okay, once you have sliced the chicken fourths, now we just need to wrap it in bacon. So I'm going to put those back here. And you just got a slice of bacon, a piece of chicken, and then you wrap everything together. And once you're done, you make sure the tips of the slice of bacon are underneath the chicken, because when you start frying it, they won't peel off and open. So while you're finishing wrapping the chicken, the rice was cooking and it's probably done. It cooked about 15 to 20 minutes, and the way to make sure it's done, you just get the spoon you're using to cook it, and then you scoop some of the rice, and then if you can see the bottom of the pan and it's completely dry, it means it's done. So you can just turn the heat off, and now we're going to start working on the chicken. So for the chicken, we're going to put the heat on medium. We're going to pour a tablespoon of olive oil. And then you just shake to make sure that the olive oil is everywhere. And then you're just gonna get a grabber, get a piece of chicken, and put it on the frying pan. The chicken has to sit for about 5 to 6 minutes on each side, and once one side is done, you can just turn, let it sit for more 5-6 minutes, and if you make sure it's cooked completely, you can turn it off, take it off of the pan, and it's done. Always remembering to let the tip of the bacon slices below the chicken on the first time, so the chicken does not unwrap itself. So after 6 minutes about, now it's time to flip the chicken. So you just get a grabber, and you have to be really careful not to unwrap the bacon. So you can use the grabber and the spatula. So you lift the grabber, put it on the spatula, and then you turn it over. And this heating process is really important, because as the chicken gets warm and hot, the bacon is going to start melt some flavor into the chicken. So the chicken is going to taste like bacon, but it's chicken, so it's healthy and tastes good. The chicken cooked up for about 6 minutes on each side, and now we're going to start removing it. For this process, it's important that you put some paper towel on the plate, so you get some of the oil on the paper towel instead of on your chicken. So you just get the grabber and start removing that, and placing on the plate. Now that we're done with the chicken and the rice, we're going to start working the dessert. This dessert is called Brigadeiro. It was named in honor of a former president of Brazil. So we can start. I'll show how the process on how to roll it and how to make it look good. So this has been sitting in the fridge for about 20 minutes, and it's already done. So you can see it's soft but not hard, not too hard. So first you just get the canola oil spray some on your hands to make sure it won't stick. Then you just get a spoonful, and you're gonna roll it in small balls. Once it's rolled, you just roll some on the chocolate sprinkles. until it's completely covered. And put it on the separate plate. So this recipe we just made yields about 14 to 15 pieces. And it's really common in Brazil. You can find it at birthday parties or the bakeries, or you can order as a dessert in the restaurants. And it was spread all over the country. You can find it everywhere, pretty much. So that's the result of your cooking process today. We have rice and chicken wrapped in bacon and the brigadeiro. That's a kind of meal that's really common and popular in Brazil. You can find it everywhere you go. And makes me feel like I'm home now.